what's going on, everybody? This is the Chivalrous Knight, and the last time I talked to you all, I was starting to tell you about my local driving experience at Eco Hauling. Eco Hauling was a little 4 or 5 trucks in Louisa, Virginia. They hauled scrap tires, and what they did, it was a small little company. They had trucks that were between 2007 and 2009, really old trucks with a lot of miles, using Freightliner Columbias, and they had an International Eagle as well. And basically they had these accounts set up all over the place. New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, a couple spots in Maryland, and one spot in West Virginia, I believe. And basically all they did was go by these truck stops and Goodyears, and all the tires that they took off of the trucks that were all jacked up, whatever, they disposed of them by giving it to this company, Eco Hauling. Eco Hauling in turn had full trailers of old tires. They would take those tires back to Louisa to a manufacturing plant. No, I don't know if you call it manufacturing, but they took it back to a facility where the tires were broken down. They were broken down into like little crumbles of rubber. They stripped all the steel and metal out of them, or whatever, the steel belt in the tires. Removed that, crushed the rest of the tires to little crumbles, and it was in turn load up trailers full of 40,000 pounds of these crumbles. Take the trailers to a place in Pennsylvania, about 400 some odd miles away, and there's 2 facilities in Pennsylvania, one in York, one in Lebanon, and they would take the crumbles and they would make some type of like rubber mats and things like that, rubber sheets, slip sheets, and all these various types of rubber type industrial products. And so the cool thing was the company paid them to pick up the tires, all the little companies we picked up from. They in turn paid some employees to run the machines to crush it. So here they got this unlimited source of used tires that they get paid to take away. Then they crush it. They pay a few employees to run the machine. Then they turn around and sell the crushed product to 2 facilities that turn them into other products. And so they made money. It looks like it was pretty good. And then they did broker loads. Once you delivered those trailers full of the crushed material, the crushed rubber, you would get a broker load, or you would just come right back empty. And then when you come back empty, no, you wouldn't come back empty. You would go you would take your empty trailer, go into one of those spots where the scrap trailers were, drop the empty trailer, pick up the scrap tire, and bring that back to Louisa. And it's just a circle. You just made that circle. I mean, you went to a bunch of different places, so some places you just went and got the scrap tires and came straight back. Scrap tires, trailer full of tires weighs around 37,000 pounds. So it was somewhat heavy loads, and the crumbles was like 40,000. So it was always heavy. And the only time you had something light was if he brokered a load, the dispatcher brokered a load that picked up somewhere nearby, and you drove all the way out to one of their pickup locations in, let's say, Buffalo, New York. we had a spot up there that we had to go to, a spot in Syracuse, New York as well. And then the broker load would get us there, and then we would come all the way back to Louisa with the trailer full of tires. And of course, after a while, that just sucked. But I learned from looking at YouTube that there's some people that are happy with a set job that looks the same all the time. And you know exactly what you're going to be doing pretty much day to day. The worst part about the job, though, was the trailers. The trailers were very old, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Their landing gear were the main issues. They were hard to crank up and down. If they sat for sometimes weeks and sometimes months in some of those locations in that one position, and they were hard to use. It was a lot of rust. They were falling to pieces. They were patching them up constantly. The trucks were old. They were constantly going through issues. They had this one or two guys at the shop, at the facility, that were always trying to patch it up when you came back in the yard if you complained about something. I mean, it was a low budget situation all day, and that's where I learned about per diem pay. That's where I learned about it. I had them explain it to me there, and basically that 38 cent a mile or 40 cent a mile I was making, I want to say about 10 cent of that was per diem. Never do that again. What happens is, if you take per diem from the company, then you're not allowed to claim per diem at the end of the year in your taxes. And if you didn't pay much of the per diem throughout the year, then you're losing out. That credit is worth, it changes every year, but I think when I filed last year, it was like let's say it was like $50 a day for per diem, but every day that you're not at home in the truck, every day that you're traveling, you get $50 per day. So if you add that up, that, for me, it came up to be like somewhere around like $12,000 tax deduction. And you get that as a company driver as well, like anywhere. Well, yeah, Eco Hauling was a company job, so, but there you go. I mean, and of course you claim that as owner operator as well. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge tax deduction. Basically with that, no truck driver really ever has to owe money that doesn't make crazy amount of money, that is. If you're single making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, maybe you owe some taxes, but with that tax deduction, you are good to go. I had like a tax return for about $4,000 last year. And that's with one kid. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to tax return this year as well. Probably won't be as good because I'm gonna make more money, but but yeah, that experience was pretty. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was pretty close. Old trucks, raggedy trailers, breakdowns. It probably don't get much worse than that, really. I really can't even think how it could have been worse. So yeah, that was my experience with Eco Hauling, which at this point they don't even exist. I think, no, they still exist. They've changed their whole operation though. They're doing something different now. I think they went and leased a newer truck, and now they only deal in broker loads. And I just talked to a guy yesterday or 2 days ago that used to work there while I was there. He ended up quitting later on, but he said they're totally new at using broker loads to keep a driver busy. Basically, they're trying to become a small carrier and grow, but doesn't seem to be working out very well. But yeah, so that was my local driving experience. My pay came out to be, we got paid on the 7th and the 22nd of every month, as strange as that is. And I want to say I took home $1,300 or $1,400 every pay period. So yeah, it was okay. It wasn't nothing too exciting. So anyways, I moved on for that. I did that for a while until I qualified to go drive for another company that I was interested in, and I still haven't got a chance to use my drive for my lowboard experience at this point. So just it was time to move out and drive for a lowboard company with a lowboard. So that was my next step, and needless to say, that's a lot more money, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm driving for a company that has a lowboard, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the next video. Thanks for watching. It's the Shipper's Night.